Okay, I give up. I give up. I quit. Alright guys, I'm under attack by that guy. His name is Cruz. What are you gonna do? See, he's not scared of me at all. Huh? How come is it when I dart at you, you come at me? Come on. Yeah. You may hear him snarling. I'm out of breath too, bro. Whoa. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's a good day today. A good day to talk about something that nobody wants to talk about. I know every time someone says these three words, coronavirus, pandemic, COVID-19. COVID-19 is actually one word, and however you want to put it. Anytime those things come up lately, I'm like, peace out. Bye. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. Every time I turn on the radio, anything like that, something pops up on YouTube, I'm sick of it. It's been just like, just like so in you. I'm finished hearing about it. So I want to get this off of my chest, get this out of here and move on. Please, can we just move on from this? Please, just go away. Leave us alone. So I want to talk about some of the things that I went through when all of this started, and I know a lot of you guys living in your home in sticks and bricks went through the same kind of feelings. But I want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I went through being out here in the backcountry, and talk about if something like this were to ever happen again, where would I want to be? Would I want to be here, or would I want to be in the security of a big concrete building downtown Vancouver where hometown would be, I guess. So when the pandemic started, things kind of got feeling a bit weird. I didn't like how I was feeling in the city, and this is just when things just started to happen. And I remember I was sitting at a restaurant with my buddy Rod. What's up, Rod? And on the news up there, they made the announcement that they canceled football. I'm not a football guy. So he was like, whoa! Or I think it was football or basketball. Football? Whatever. And he was like, oh, no way. And that's when things kind of started to settle in, like, oh, this is serious. That's insane. Like, that's something I would have never thought I'd ever heard in my whole life. So then that's when the feelings started to happen. That's when things started to really be put into perspective, and things started to become locked down, and businesses were closing, restaurants shut down, and you started to see things turn into a bit of an apocalypse, you know what I mean? Like stuff you'd only see in a video game, not something you'd ever expect to see in real life. And then I just like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. So I left. I got in my home and I left. And we headed to the hills, headed to the backcountry, just to be away from it. And it was a really great feeling to be away from it, until I started to wonder, what's going on in the city? Is everybody dead? Because when you're out here in the backcountry, no cell phone, no Wi-Fi, no radio signal, nothing. You don't have any connection at all. So then you're like, oh, well, we better drive back close to a town and find out what's going on. So then I go back to town, turn on the radio, find out what's going on. You kind of listen to the news. You're like, all right, so things are getting worse. And then you head back out into the country for a while. And then those thoughts come in, you go back to the city and you find out it's getting worse. And more things are closing, and they've got quarantine this and quarantine that. And so when the word quarantine come up, and I'm like, what is going on? Quarantine is something you see in a video game or a movie, or where are the zombies? When are they coming? So I went through a lot of things, and it turned out at the very beginning that being in the backcountry was a bit emotional, for the reason that I have never experienced a pandemic. So we never knew how to process what was going on. But that was just insane for me to see the world kind of pause. Uh-oh, comes the rain. You know, so, and that's where some of the emotion I'm trying to cover. I'm trying to cover the microphone, which is on that side of the phone, and the wind's coming this way. So that's where my process really started to shift a little bit. And then you started to go into the mode that everybody else went into, and that was being unsure and kind of hitting survival mode. So I know everybody topped up on toilet paper and dumb stuff like that. I hit a grocery store, stocked up on tons of canned food and rice and lots of other stuff that I needed, just so I wouldn't have to go back to town, because that's when they were only letting a certain amount of people in the stores, making you like mask up and all this other weird stuff. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. So I stockpiled on a bunch of food and we headed back out into the woods. And that's when things started to feel a lot calmer. You know what I mean? You started to kind of understand what was going on a little bit more, and things started to feel a little bit better, and you kind of got more comfortable with the whole situation that was going on. And for me at that point, and I know a lot of nomads made some changes during this time. A lot of the channels that you're watching made some big changes during this time, whether they bought property, built tiny homes, bought houses in towns, whatever it is. They've all gone through different changes within themselves during this time. And I think a lot of people, I don't know their scenarios, so don't take me on this, but I think a lot of people in the nomad community felt the comfort of going back to what they're normally used to, and that's having a little piece of property that they can bunker down on. So for me, I don't think I would find that to be very comfortable. I think that would more tie me down emotionally and make me feel trapped. Where for me, my first thought was, let's turn my van into like the ultimate off-road, off-grid adventure van, and allow me to hit the backcountry and go and be prepared for whatever's coming at me and coming my way, and be ready. So that's what I did. So you guys have noticed lately, my van has undergone some substantial amount of changes. And a lot of that happened because of my thought process during the pandemic. So, and even right now, my thought process is like, let's get the van to that top-notch area that I feel good about being out here with everything that I need. So the bigger tires came in, the ladder, the rooftop storage to get some more stuff up on the roof, and just kind of slowly start turning this into like the perfect off-grid home. It's just about there. Okay, it's there already. Now we're just putting on the polishing touches. But that's why my van has undergone changes. So instead of me going backwards in life, I'm pushing towards a more off-grid life. You know what I mean? Like, and it's true. You guys have seen me talk about property. Every now and then you hear me bring up property. But I am glad I don't have property. You know, it's been a thought here and there when I find some cheap piece of land somewhere in some really cute little town that I love the vibe of. But being out here in the backcountry, being able to be on the move all the time is where I feel the safest. And I think if another wave of this comes in or some crazy thing comes in, I'm going to be ready for taking off in the woods, and this time being a little bit more prepared for the emotional things that are going to go on when a new wave of something starts. Because I'm sure at some point in our lifetime or another lifetime that there's going to be some new thing introduced, and we're going to go through this stuff all over again. I hope this time it's like zombies or something cool at least. You know what I mean? Like, come on, if you're gonna give me zombies. I'm not a zombie guy, but come on, man. If you're gonna lock the world down, at least make it like flesh-eating guys. You know what I mean? Instead of the flu, okay? Give me something that's tangible, something I can run from. I also went through some safety emotions. I don't know how you want to call it. It's not fear, it's not being scared, but I also went through some stages where I was like, okay, this is the very first time in my van life I'm going to add something for security. I've never in my life, maybe it's the Canadian in me, I don't know, but never in my life have I ever feared anything that I thought about having protection. And for the most part, I don't think that's the thing that us Canadians think about is protection. It's just not in our nature. So, but during the pandemic was the first time I'm like, okay, maybe it's a smart idea. I get a knife, a baseball bat, some pepper spray, and things like that. So I did. I went out and bought myself a couple cans of bear spray because I needed the bear spray anyway, because you guys have been watching my videos. We live in bear country. But then I also bought a knife, which is mounted inside of my van. I also bought a little pocket knife, something to keep on with me at all times, and a little mini baseball bat just in case I want to like smack some balls. Going crazy out here. Oh, on that note, you do go through some emotional things too. If you were to happen to run for the hills and you're not used to like staying in solitude by yourself for so long, you do go through some things where you start like hugging trees and naming trees, or hanging out with trees with faces on it. If you didn't see that video, I found a campsite with trees with faces on them. They were pretty cool. They were my friends. What? Look at me that way. I made friends with some trees and a couple stumps. That was a great camping spot too, just outside of Lillooet. I'm not going to leave you guys the GPS coordinates because then I'm going to lose it if I ever want to go back. But anyway, the only reason why I really wanted to make this video was to say that the van is like the ultimate home. And I know all of you guys are watching van life channels because you feel the same way. You feel like the van life is drawing you into it. So, especially if the world goes squirrely, the world goes sideways, there is so much mountains and hills and stuff back there that you could fuel up your van, stock up on extra fuel, and hit the backcountry and just go bunker down for a while and escape that negative feeling and all the sick people if this were to happen to be something crazy. You know what I mean? You can go up there and just hide and be you and go fishing. Hey, Cruz? Got anything you want to add? But it's being okay. Any little negative situation surrounding the pandemic has been caused inside. Any weird emotional thing that I felt was in here. Any uneasiness I felt was in here. Those are things that I created for me. And I think everybody felt the same thing. They didn't know how to process it. And that's normal. You know, I'm no different than anybody else. We didn't know what was going on. You know, you listen to the news, you're like, what? You listen to like Johnny over there going, rah, 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 rah. You're like, what? You do that a lot when you're out. You're like, oh yeah, hi, how you doing, man? I'm doing good. Stop talking to me, hand. See? Pandemic, the whole quarantine thing makes you kind of go, lose your mind. Okay. That's why we sell merch that says Weirdos Unite. All right? I'm not quite normal. But anyway, you guys, don't let a situation like this stop you guys from starting van life. Don't let what other people say to you stop you from starting van life. If this is something you want to do, I think right now is no better of a time than to leave all that craziness, all the towns and cities behind you, and go out there and just start living your life and being you. I think you're going to be way more prepared for anything life throws at you, even on this crazy world side, than living in a van. You know what I mean? You are ready to rock and roll at all times. I know we all hear about these things like, oh, preppers, and we're all like, preppers are crazy people building bunkers and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but during this pandemic was the very first time I ever thought, hey, I finally understand these preppers. I get it. I never got it before. I never understood before. What are you guys preparing for? Nothing in the world's ever going to go crazy. Boom, then it did. So by default, living in a van, you're prepped. You're ready to go. You got food. You got some of the basics you're going to need to survive. And you got gas in your van. And just go find somewhere. Hunker down for a while. Don't drive forbid. Conserve your gas for as long as you can. Please, sunshine, come back. Okay. This probably didn't help you guys any. Just wanted to talk to you guys about the pandemic. Okay. Thanks for watching, you guys. And don't fear things. Then the sun's coming down the hill. I don't get this weather. It's gone crazy over here. Anyway, you guys. I'm never going to talk about this again. I just wanted to get this out. We're done, all right? So no more asking me questions about this. It's pretty great out here. It's peaceful. It's beautiful. And believe it or not, I stayed at this little spot right here for probably 3 days when this pandemic here started. So I think that's what sparked me wanting to talk about this here today, because I came back somewhere and I remember the feelings that I had when I was sitting here, and just kind of wanted to share them with you guys, because I know a lot of you guys went through a few things, and A lot of times on my channel, I didn't talk about it because I didn't want to continually talk about something that was negative in the current situation, because I like to keep things on the positive side, and things weren't that bad. I wasn't going through crazy stuff. If I was feeling a bit quirky from being by myself, I always shared that in a video. And you guys seen when I bought all of my I bought the knife and the pepper spray. You guys seen all that stuff. So I just thought I'd recap it all in one little video for those that have been asking me questions about it. Get a van, man. It is way safer than having a house. That's just my opinion. Okay, guys, bye.